Well, everybody's talking about it, but do you know how the Iowa caucus really works and what winning means for the candidates? Daron Shaw is a Fox News pollster and political science professor from the University of Texas. He is also on our Fox Decision desk, which is involved in calling the results in Iowa. Daron, welcome. A lot of people might be a little confused about how Iowa works, and it's different for each party, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, for those of you who are going to tune in tonight, on the Republican side, you'll see something a little closer to a straightforward vote. People are talking about maybe 130, 150,000 people voting, and down on the crawl, you'll see an actual vote count. And that will translate into ultimately the selection or the election of about 30 delegates from Iowa to the national convention. Democrats, it's much more complicated. I heard some of your early guests talking about this quite accurately, that people show up with an intention to support a candidate, but then there is an initial demonstration of support. There are thresholds at each precinct. If you don't make the 15% threshold, you reallocate or go home. So people are talking about, well, O'Malley's supporters are going to have to either surpass that threshold or make a decision.
And there's even been talk about maybe a Hillary Clinton supporter would knowingly throw support to O'Malley to prevent Bernie Sanders from reaching a certain threshold.
Right. So tonight, for instance, on the decision team, we will get an entrance poll. Unlike a traditional exit poll, which asks people as they're leaving what they did, the entrance poll asks people, well, what do you intend to do? So we'll have kind of an estimate of who, on the Democratic side, who got their supporters to the polls. But once they go in, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen. And, unlike the Republicans who report a vote total, the Democrats will report something called state delegate equivalence. And there will be about, I think, 1,406 are at stake tonight. Those 1,406 will ultimately, go to the county conventions and the state convention to select 44 Democratic delegates to the national. So it's a Byzantine system, no question.
Donald Trump has supposedly generated all kinds of excitement on the Republican side and brought new voters into the process. Are there signs in Iowa that, more people are signing up to caucus tonight?
Well, there's two factors going on. We've been talking a little earlier before we came back from the break about registration figures. And the registration figures on either side haven't really changed all that much. But Iowa's population tends to be fairly static, not a lot of in-migration. The birth rates are relatively stable. So the raw registration figures haven't bumped up all that much on either side. However, the enthusiasm metrics that we look at, how likely are you to caucus, how excited are you about the candidates, we are picking up indications, certainly on the Republican side, a little bit too with Bernie Sanders in it, but certainly on the Republican side, that, on the order of 1/3, we're anticipating of these caucus goers will be first-time caucus goers. And that's a pretty high water mark on the GOP side.